Hello! So I have been away and traveling and visiting family for the summer, but while I was away I did work on my sketchbook a ton, and it is finally filled out and ready for a sketchbook tour. So that's what we're gonna do in this video. It's just a little guy. I have been carrying this around for the past year. Everywhere I go, I keep it in my purse, and whenever I feel like sketching something, this guy. I actually purchased the same exact one for my next sketchbook just because I really liked the size of this guy. So yeah, anyways, let's go ahead and jump right in to the sketchbook tour. Starting off the sketchbook with some drawings of my hand. When I don't know what to draw, just using my left hand as a model is my go-to. So there are a bunch of hand drawings in this sketchbook. I also really enjoy drawing portraits, and most of these were referenced from photos on Pinterest, and I have a Pinterest board with all those photos, so if you want to reference them too, I will put a link to that board in the description below. This is one of my favorite spreads in this sketchbook. It is of cosplayer Strawberry Bloom Cos in their Zelda cosplay, and then my favorite musical artist Aurora, and I just really like these two drawings next to each other and the flowers kind of tying them together. Here are some expression studies. I'm always trying to get better at drawing the same person but with different expressions and making them look like the same person as well. It's always a challenge, but it's good practice. I brought the sketchbook with me to a Disneyland trip, and the sketches didn't turn out that great or amazing, but it helped pass the time while waiting in lines, and yeah, it just gave me something to do. Here's where I got some rainbow pencils that change color depending on the way you're holding the pencil, and I had a lot of fun just playing around with these and kind of letting the pencil do a lot of the color picking and not having to overthink about my color choices. The mermaid there was a drawing request from some of my nieces and nephews, and then this was the entrance to the restaurant at Evermore Park called Vander's Keep. The food was actually pretty good, and then the next page has some of my notes from the park. You can join some of the guilds there, and there were steps for each of them, and so I didn't want to skip any of those steps. These are sketches of my cousin's cat, Peanut. He is the sweetest little boy, and I miss him so much. He passed away just recently, and I'm so glad I have these sketches of him to remember him. This is when season 4, I believe, of Stranger Things had just aired, and so I had Stranger Things on the mind, so I did some really colorful colored pencil sketches of some of the characters. Kind of a silly story about this bleh drawing of a tree. It was a really nice day outside and I was like, I'm gonna go enjoy the weather and draw this tree, but moments after sitting down I realized there was a bunch of ants on the ground and they were crawling on me, so I just finished the drawing as fast as I could and then went right back inside. Here are some studies of street fashion as well as some little ducks. They're not super connected ideas, but sometimes you gotta draw cool clothes and other times you wanna draw some ducks. These are 5-minute face studies where I set a timer and have 5 minutes to draw from my reference photo. I really enjoy doing these because they help me stay loose, because you really can't be lingering on your marksmanship too much. You just have to go for it if you want a whole face finished within 5 minutes. Here is a spread of Abby and Ellie from The Last of Us Part 2. I did this as the HBO's adaptation of the first game was airing, and it just had me missing these characters, and so I drew them back to back. We went to the Renaissance Festival this year, and these are sketches of some people in their amazing costumes. They're really quick because I always feel a little bit uncomfortable drawing people in public. I'm always afraid they're gonna notice me looking at them and I'll look like a weirdo. But I know it's a really good thing to do for your art, is to practice drawing people from life, but I just need to build up the confidence to do it more often. Here is me experimenting with my new alcohol markers that I had just purchased. I had been wanting to try out these markers for a while, but they were always out of my budget, and I found the brand Ohuhu Markers, and they were way more budget friendly. And so I decided to go ahead and buy a pack. This isn't sponsored or anything, it's just This is the brand I got, if anyone's curious. But it was a struggle for me at first. It was basically my first time using alcohol markers, and I didn't know the medium that well, and so I just kept sketching with them, and finally, when I got the hang of it, I really started enjoying using these, and they're probably one of my favorite mediums to color with now. I think this was the sketch with the markers that was like, oh, okay, I'm starting to get the hang of it. And I realized I liked mixing the markers with colored pencil. And yeah, this was my like, oh, I think I like these moment. This drawing on the right is of Mina Lay. I love her video essays on YouTube, and her fashion sense is just chef's kiss, so I had to draw her. The story of the drawing on top there is I was outside looking at some of our plants and found these white dots hanging underneath one of the leaves, and I was like, what is this? So I googled it, and they are lacewing eggs, and I thought they looked neat, so I put them in my sketchbook. I don't think you can watch the Spider-Verse movies without coming out feeling artistically inspired. So here is some Gwen and Miles that I drew after watching the movies because, oh my goodness, Across the Spider-Verse was just gorgeous, and what a great source of inspiration. And then this is an Aranara from Genshin Impact. I actually drew him from the little guy I sculpted from the game. They're just so cute, and I love them. I started this spread drawing the man with the mustache and then the younger man with the longer hair, and it just felt like my lines were so stiff, so I decided to just basically scribble and keep my pen moving throughout the drawing process, and it really helped me loosen up and not worry about being so precise. The model in this reference photo was wearing some fawn ears, and I am a sucker for fantasy ears, and so I had to draw this reference photo. And then I'm ending my sketchbook the same way it started, with a bunch of hands. And that is it for this sketchbook. It is time for a new one, which is, like I said before, the exact same sketchbook. I just really like this size for traveling. I did already start sketching in it, and surprise, it is hands, but I wanted to go ahead and add some of my art goals for this sketchbook. My first goal is to draw more frequently. There were some big gaps where I just didn't draw anything in this past sketchbook, so I want to remedy that in this new one. My second goal is to practice more full body poses and anatomy studies. I really love drawing portraits, but I want to get to a place where I feel comfortable drawing a full body. I also want to draw from life a lot more in the sketchbook. I used a lot of reference pictures and photos to draw from in the last sketchbook, and yeah, I just want to be able to capture things from life better. The next goal is really targeting one of my weaknesses, which is drawing landscapes and backgrounds. I don't love doing it all the time, and I think the key to actually enjoying it is to practice it and get better at it. So that's my next goal. And lastly, I want to draw from my imagination more, not just directly copy images, but come up with more concepts and characters and things like that. Yeah, and those are my goals for this next sketchbook. I'm looking forward to a future sketchbook tour and seeing how they go, but for now I'm gonna send it back to outro Rachel. That is pretty much it for this sketchbook tour. Thank you for watching, and I'm really excited to start working in my new sketchbook and working on some of those goals I have for myself and my art in it. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Bye! I really like this size because it fits in my purse, and it's really to take with words.